Hello, my name is Yvonne. On January 2015, I was teaching a power walking class outside for the YMCA. I was struck by a transit bus. No one else in the class was injured. The side mirror of the bus struck me in the forehead and knocked me to the ground, and the front right tire ran over my left leg. I was rushed to Northeast Hospital with life-threatening injuries. I was conscious the entire time, in shock in the rescue squad vehicle. When we arrived in the emergency room, I saw my wonderful husband, Daryl, standing there waiting on me, and I lost consciousness. I had a concussion, a hole in my left retina, all my ribs were broken, my cervix too, and my neck was fractured. The same injury Christopher Reed, who was Superman, had and was paralyzed with. My thorax 1 through thorax 8 in my back was fractured, with thorax 2 and 3 totally destroyed. And the leg that got ran over by the bus tire only suffered a fractured ankle. You know why? A miracle. An angel picked up that wheel and it just grazed my leg, tearing off all the skin from the knee to the ankle. Not breaking a single bone, but tearing up my leg pretty badly. Things were so bad they did not want to chance moving me. I remained in that hospital for an entire month. God put the right surgeon in place to put me back together again, with God being the head surgeon. I have titanium rods shaped like goalposts with titanium rods for T2 and T3. After my month's stay at Northeast and my neck and back surgeries, I was transferred to Levine Hospital in Charlotte. It was there I had numerous leg surgeries. Since the night of the accident, I had a wound vac on my leg which kept me from walking, and a collar on my neck. I looked pathetic. When I was transferred to Charlotte, I became conscious. I began to look for the light at the end of the tunnel, and then I saw the unconditional love God had shown me throughout my life. And now I was ready to have the surgery on my leg. God is the great physician, and He put me with the right trauma plastic surgeon to do my leg surgeries. After spending a month in Charlotte Hospital and several surgeries and rehab, I was allowed to go home. I went to my daughter and son-in-law's home to get strong enough to have the final surgery on my leg. After several weeks, I had the surgery and got to return to my own home, where I wore a wound vac for another month and could not walk on it for weeks, and had numerous nurses 3 times a day. I did heal, and after my first visit back to the neuro neck and back surgeon, he was so shocked my back and neck had already fused. And by the middle of May, I was back power walking, and in mid-June, I began teaching senior citizen Silver Sneakers exercise classes. Life was good again. I felt like my old self, lots of energy. On August 2015, I started not really feeling 100%. I figured I was taking something, so I went to a minute clinic where she said I had sinus infection. I took an antibiotic, and after a week, something else seemed to be wrong, so I went to an urgent care, and they said I had pneumonia. I took a stronger antibiotic for another week. On that Friday morning, before I went to teach my classes, the Lord spoke to me and said that I needed to go see my primary physician. I called, and the receptionist told me he was booked solid. I told her this was an emergency. Why I said that, I have no idea. She told me to come in after lunch and wait. I saw the doctor, and he said, "Let's do some blood work." God had a hand in that too. That evening, the doctor called me at home and told me to get to the emergency room as soon as possible. I had no idea what was wrong. My counts, the white count, was off the chart. I found out that night when I was admitted. I had acute myeloid leukemia. I was in the hospital for a month and a half, taking some of the strongest chemo possible. God always was there. My wonderful daughter researched online what could be done for acute myeloid leukemia. She found where I could have a bone marrow transplant. BMT in Chapel Hill found a match for me. January 2016, I had a bone marrow transplant. It was a 100% match from a young man, 19 years old, from Statesboro, Georgia. I go back every 2 to 3 weeks where they test my NMP1 mutation to see how many cancer cells I have. As of last week's test, it showed I had a slight trace. The lab could barely detect any. Very slight, another miracle from God. I am doing great, and I owe it all to God. Throughout all this, I have never thought, why me? I've had a good life, I have a wonderful family, and blessed friends, and I have always felt I have God on my side.